I spent a considerable amount of time today thinking about exactly what I wanted to do for this personal project for the 99th Dan Hamming episode to serve as a prop character. And then later I spent some time thinking about what color Sharpie markers I would need to use. This was roughly from 7 to 11 p.m., of which I got this Sharpie marker, a sort of special hue of green, from ultimately this pack, part of the new Sharpie markers that my parents got me during our last trip to Philadelphia. I opened up the new markers to see if there were any Sharpies, any colors, fine or ultra fine, that I might need. It was part of the planning process early on. I would think I may have actually done this around 6:30 p.m. at the earliest. But I'm leaning towards 7 p.m. as the start of the color planning phase. Obviously, I haven't picked out all of the Sharpie markers I'm going to use for this project, but I've picked out most of the ones I'm going to use for the tactical goggles, and a small amount of the ones I'm going to use for the jacket. And the jacket's going to feature some kind of close-up of a tree with some leaves. That's the current plan anyway. I'm just using this Sharpie marker so I can essentially trace the borders of the face, the inner face, essentially what will be inside the hoodie, so that after tracing that whole outer area of the hoodie, I can outline the tactical goggles, and then the mask, which is most likely going to be some hue of gray, what exactly it's going to be, I haven't decided yet, but that'll be based on significantly on how the tactical goggles turn out. I've got a glass of whole milk. with this bowl of phenomenal pho. I recall within the first hours of today, the early morning, maybe this was around 6:30 in the morning, of which I woke up naturally despite going to bed around 3 in the morning, because at that time it was still kind of hot, even with the windows open. The windows are completely open, both of them. They've been open all day. Right now it feels basically room temperature. I feel neither hot nor cold. Though around 3 in the morning I felt the need to turn on the fan that's in the room in order to make it easier for me to fall asleep, since to fall asleep easily you generally want it to be cooler, since in order to fall asleep your temperature has to drop by a few degrees. And that's harder to do when it's hotter, like it has been for a few days, generally between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, even though we're currently in the middle of April. I angled the fan till the breeze touched me as I laid down. Essentially with my head towards the window on the mattress. Rather than away from it, which is how I fall asleep more often than not, but with my head towards the window. My head was in the path of the fan's breeze. And I figure with the fan cooling my head would be more effective than it cooling my general body. I woke up around 6:30 in the morning. I recall at that time sort of rolling off the mattress. Thankfully, I never felt a need for there to be a frame for the mattress to be on, since you just need a mattress to provide a comfortable surface to fall asleep on. So, The roll-off didn't involve much height. Though I did end up spilling some water, some tap water that I filled into a plastic glass like this one, except the one I used at that time was a hue of gray. I ended up spilling about a third of a glass of tap water onto the carpeted floor. In the process of rolling off the bed, thankfully it wasn't that much tap water. Since I know Dad's usually up at this time, I went downstairs and had my first cup of plain coffee from a morning pot while making some small talk with my dad over the next half hour or so. In the end, I recall going back to bed around 7:30 to 7:38 in the morning at the latest. First woke up around 6:30 in the morning. And I recall it as being around 12:30 in the afternoon when I woke up again and got up for today. I recall that the roll-off the bed was one of those side-first roll-offs. The left side, to be exact, around 12:30 in the morning, I again had 2 peanut butter and jelly bagel sandwiches with technically my second cup of coffee from this one I believe was from a new morning pot. So I think I woke up and got up for the day more around 12:15 in the morning. I mean, in the afternoon. I recall having a few cups of coffee, roughly from 12:30 in the afternoon to about 3 to 4 p.m. And then around 4:45 p.m. I had some leftovers from when Dad cooked sausage and seasoned fries yesterday. And I added ketchup after toasting the whole thing in a toaster. I did it for less than even the light toast setting, since you don't usually toast fries, and especially not sausage, but I decided to toast the whole thing at once rather than toast the fries and maybe microwave the sausage and thus put it in a separate container. As for the polystyrene drawing project that I just started, I didn't start working on it until about 11 p.m.